you playing with my intelligence. Girl, if you don't give me them brands, I run it all back. Run it all back. It's like what they don't tell you series today is about cultural differences.
When they say they need a cool drink, I just pull out cold grape tigers and I'm handing them out.
You're really about to go to jail.
That's what they said. That's what they said.
They said.
I was like, all right, we. All right, guys, it's your girl J Scott, and I am back. I told you that I was going to start doing these new series of what they don't tell you. So this is African Americans who live abroad, but especially here in South Africa. So what they don't tell you is just a series about things that you just thought you should know. We always talk about the positive. I'm not saying let's talk about the negative, but I'm just saying tell me about some of these shocking moments. And so I decided to interview this lovely couple. Do you remember them? If not, go check out their YouTube. But I am here with Ricky and Crystal. And the What They Don't Tell You series today is about cultural differences. All right, guys. So thank you for joining my channel.
Of course.
I know this may be a little different.
Yes. Usually we're recording people. So to be recorded, oh my goodness. I'm excited.
It's fun. Yeah.
I like it.
So tell my viewers a little bit about yourself. What brought you here to South Africa? And yeah, let's get into it.
Yep. So my name is Ricky, as she said. My lovely wife, Crystal. We have two kids, Rain and Ricky, that are 7 and 5 years old. We moved here from Tampa, Florida, which we loved life here. And what brought us here was a prayer. I prayed asking God, what should we do next? What's next for our life? Because I could tell there was a shift that was needed. And so God said Johannesburg, South Africa. And I was like, well, not altogether, Johannesburg first. And then I was like, wait a minute. And of course, knowing that Johannesburg is in South Africa, putting those two together. And I was like, okay. So then we visited twice before we made the move. However, now we're here and enjoying everything that Johannesburg has to offer. We show things on our YouTube. And Crystal does some amazing things on her TikTok.
Yeah, I TikTok a lot. I do a lot of TikToking.
I gotta check out the TikTok.
TikTok is popping.
Okay. I'm just kind of like starting a TikTok, but I started the same time with the YouTube.
Okay.
So like a few of my videos took off, but I was just like, all right, you got to post like 3 times a day. That's what you're doing.
You don't have to. I post a lot, but that's just because it's convenient. It's a new life here. So there's so much to show that Ricky and I and the kids are doing. But also, it's extremely helpful. When we first got here, we're looking for very basic items that we didn't know where to find them. Maybe certain brands of lotions or different things. And literally, I'll just go on TikTok and I'll be like, hey, y'all, where can I find... and whatever it is, and literally like hundreds of people will be like, oh, go here. You'll get the best price here. So it's super helpful.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to check out your TikTok.
Find some things.
Because there's a lot of things I need to find.
There it is.
But one thing, I was just sitting here listening. You didn't tell me that you prayed to and God. That was kind of similar to my story. So I was just like, okay, you heard me talk about it, but you didn't say, oh,
right. I have questions off camera. Which I'll do it after this. But
I was like, all right, God, you sending people to South Africa? Is that like,
here?
He making waves.
He is, and we love talking about
and he giving
purpose.
us the money for the flight.
There's that too. There's that, because that is necessary.
Yeah. So, okay. I know that a lot of people don't like to touch this subject, but let's just jump right into what they didn't tell you. You got here. It was everything you kind of thought about until it wasn't.
Okay.
What are some of the things that you thought people should tell you in regards to like kind of engulfing yourself within the culture?
And so the first thing that comes to mind is the driving, right? Because that's an experience. And they don't tell you that. All they do is tell you that you drive on the other side, That's the gist of it. Not the taxis that will cut you off at any moment's notice. The pedestrians that'll walk across the street at any time that they so choose. Even the driving styles of people here is just different. I've driven not all around the U.S., but in quite a few states, and so I have a diverse driving background. However, it's just different here. Like there is no room for error. Truth be told, like defensive driving, I'm so glad I took it. I'm so glad I drive with that in mind. And outside of that, it's just so that was like the main thing that came to mind. Driving, right? If you were just to give me the broad what they don't tell you, it's that driving is something you should experience first. Just Uber around. Like see how the Ubers do it. Pay attention to how the Uber's driving. Don't just sit in the back seat on the phone. Look around because that'll give you a great indication of what you have to deal with and experience when you are driving. So driving came to mind for me.
Yeah, I would say when it even comes to driving, I know at first I was really nervous to drive. I actually didn't plan to drive at all. Just be like kept. He wouldn't let me do that.
No.
So I ended up having to drive. But I would say coming from Florida, learning to drive and stuff in Florida most of my life, and then spending time driving in Atlanta, like for me, I feel like I'm adapting very quickly. I probably drive somewhere between like the taxi drivers and the defensive driver. Like one side of me is like, just figure out how to get where you need to go. Like that is like rule number one for driving. Just figure out how you get where you need to go. Make it happen. If you gotta, finagle some lights, if you gotta finagle some curves, like just go with whatever's happening around you.
Finagle lights and curves.
I mean, because here you can do that.
Off because
it's a little bit
right. If the lights are off, cool, but don't just like run red lights, man. You got the kids in the car.
Just running red lights. I mean, if you're in the middle because you're waiting to turn because the turns are weird, like. It's like you're always halfway in the middle of the intersection anyway. Like it's all happening, and you really just gotta figure it out. I think
I'll be a driver like her. I'm not driving.
Okay.
And I've been here, so yes. I Uber.
Yes.
Because it is a little different. I tried, and then I like turned on the wrong side, and
you don't
that happens sometimes. It happens, and
because you follow you.
Yeah, it happened today. Ray was like, "You on the wrong side, my ass." Oh yeah, and I just get back over.
See, I'm finding out stuff too. What she don't tell me.
Keep going. Just keep going. It's because the thing is, even if I was on the wrong side, the way they're driving here, the taxi's always on the wrong side. Just kind of people on the wrong side of the road, just doing anything. So you actually, I feel like you could blend in more than you think, but it's definitely an adjustment.
Yeah.
And I realized that as well when I got pulled over.
By the police?
By the police.
Oh.
And I was so confused because I didn't know what was happening. Apparently,
there's more stuff they don't tell you.
More, yes. Sticking in line with the roads. Apparently, a very common thing here is bribes when you get pulled over. And so they would call it like cool drink money. But I could be a little blonde sometimes. So this was happening to me, but I had no idea it was happening.
So how'd you get out? I just want to know how they let you go.
So
you wouldn't imagine.
Over, I'm like, I gotta go get my kids. Like, and he's like, you gotta pay this fine, this 1,000 rand fine. And I was like, 1,075 rand fine. And I was
he wrote you a fine.
No, I was like, okay.
No, you give them what you want.
I was
your accent.
Well.
So he was like, I was like, okay, well, give me the ticket. And he was like, well, you got to go with me down to the police station right now. I was like, well, I'm not going down to the police station. Like, I have to go get my kids. I can't be late. But if you want, I could call my husband and he could go with you to the police station, but I can't go. And he's like, but it's not your offense. It's not your husband's offense. It's your offense. And I was like, but we share a bank account, so it's fine. Don't worry. And he was like, no, you need to pay this fine. You're gonna have to pay this 1,075 rand fine. And I'm thinking, okay, that's like $50. Like that's fine. Like it's not astronomical. So I'm just like, okay, like well, just give me the ticket and it's fine. And he's
never
like,
got it.
Where are you from? And I was like, Florida, USA. He's like, what's your surname? I was like, Jones. He was getting so frustrated by my confusion that I was so genuinely confused.
Like, girl, just give me the rings.
Right. He's like, so what are we gonna do here? And I was like,
That's the comment.
That's when this shit. She didn't even realize.
what
it.
are we gonna do here? I said, I'm gonna call my husband and he gonna come down here and go with you to the police station to pay this fine. Like, what do you mean? He's like, well, how are you gonna pay the fine? I was like, with a credit card. And he was like, what? You don't have cash? I was like, no, it's not safe to carry cash. He was like,
He just let you go, didn't he?
he was like, don't do it again. And he left.
He said, "I'm gonna get you a ticket next time."
Right. He was like, next time I see you, you're getting this ticket. I was like, okay. Like, I was fine with the ticket today. Like, I was so genuinely confused. So, of course, I posted about it on the TikTok, and they're like, girl, he wanted cool drink money. So I asked them, what
It's
if?
cool drink.
Well, no, I said, well, what if next time I carry around a cooler in my car and it's full with grape tizers? And so then when they say they need a cool drink, I just pull out cold grape tizers and I'm handing them out. They're
You really about to go to jail.
That's what they said. That's what they said.
They said, girl, you gotta be locked up.
Because now you playing with my intelligence. Girl, if you don't give me them brands.
Listen, but if we here for games, like let's play. Like, what is it? So yeah,
I know, in my mind, I just be like, dang, like you can't do that at home. And then I'm just like, just give me the ticket. Why are you trying to play games?
Correct.
Or they just see you, right? But then it's just because they think you don't know better. Then it's like, and I don't drive, but I've been in cars.
Yes.
But I was just like, oh, you know, especially if it's just us Americans, like, oh, you about to be taxed. But now we learn, it's like, hold on, let me call my friend. You hear that accent? Okay. Here's your 200. Get out my face. Like,
listen. See, but I
give you 200 rand or whatever. Like,
just act confused like I did. Don't give anything. Just act so confused. And
well, I mean, it wasn't my money, but still, like, we all needed to go.
But nobody knows about these bribes. That's something they don't tell you before you move here. Know. Hey, you're driving down the street. They may just have you give them money for simply driving, even you did nothing wrong. Just
I'm about to get me kicked off of YouTube just because of South Africa's. The police will be like, what's her YouTube? Oh, come get them. They got one too.
Listen, write the fine. I will pay it.
Girl, you'll never see the fine ever. Ever.
How do you know when it's a real ticket? Everybody just comment and says never a real ticket.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was something that was definitely not told to us before we got here. And then we got to the car dealership and the guy, we're buying our car. He said, just so you know, there's something called cool drink money. We were like, wait, what? So
he told y'all that.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay.
He did. He
but
made us aware.
She still ain't understand.
I was just confused
she didn't
in
know
the moment.
when it was
I didn't know what was going on.
Because they didn't just say cool drink.
Yeah,
right? They didn't say that.
I need cool drink. Then I would have known.
Okay, sometimes they don't. Right. Like, I think it was Christmas, and it was just like, it's the holidays. So you just set up a thing because it's the holidays. My Uber driver was like, I got a passenger. So he let him go. But I said, oh, they just set up because it was the holidays.
It
was like, you got a gift for me.
I know
you're not my family. Why do I got a gift for you?
And I'm not. Okay.
I mean, but we laughed because I was like, because they said it in language, and I was like, well, what happened? He said, they just set up for the holiday. He asked me, do I have a gift? Because it's the holidays. I said, you're lying. And that's funny.
That's the thing, too, because you just said, he said it in another language. And I know for me, even though they speak English here, language has been another thing that's been a cultural adjustment because apparently I look very South African. And so people will even say, I thought you were South African until you started talking, or why are you faking this American accent, girl? We
girl from Santa, right? You're the Santa girls. I was like, what's the Santa girl? Oh, they try to speak English. Or a cheese girl, huh?
Yeah, like they just said, like, girl, you're faking this accent, like, why? And I'm like, no, like, why would I even do that? So often people are talking to me and I don't understand. And I'll say, I was at the mall and a lady, literally, she was a security guard. There was some celebration at the mall. So we were there with the kids and everything. And she's telling me like instructions, but she's saying them not in English. And I was like, I'm going to guess it was Zulu. But I was like, oh, I don't understand. And then she said it again. And I was like, no, English only. I only speak English. And she literally just started laughing.
Because she thought you was faking. Girl, get out of here. You definitely from Limpopo.
I'm like,
and I probably said that wrong.
It's all right. We all trying to figure it out.
But that's the language, again, even though they speak English, the language barrier has been a challenge, or just, I would say, an adjustment, because I'm often having to tell people, I don't understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not just lying and saying I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. And so I think that's an adjustment, but it's super cool with the kids because they're so young and they're picking up on the language really quickly, like learning songs that they can sing and Zulu and stuff like that. And of course they have their friends. So I would say it's something that I didn't expect because they speak English, but at the same time, it can cause a challenge where you need information and people just like, I'm not going along with this game with you. I know you speak whatever the language is, and it's like, well,
Santon girl.
I be trying to figure it out sometimes, but it's just like they look at you and just like, yeah, no. Like, are you this one? Nah, this one, and she's Santon. And she's not. And I be like, well, what is that? My friend had to, because they were saying in another language. I actually went into like it was like a little neighborhood over the valley, not too far from here, I think in the south. And I'm just like visiting my friend, but I'm just seeing all different types of like, okay, you know how we have like home control. Oh, that's what they don't tell you. They don't have that here. Home control. When I mean like when you have everyone in like your neighborhood advisory board.
Oh, like neighborhood watch, HOA and CDD and all
yes. So your neighbor don't have to meet the same compliance as you. So it could be a one level house or it can be a broke down house, and then you see this beautiful house. So you see all mixtures of that, right? Oh, right next door. Gotcha. Right across the street. Okay. So this joint got a BMW. This one got a Toyota. It's just, so I'm like, oh, it's just, that was the complexity of it, just mind blowing for me. It was like, oh, y'all don't have any like standards that everybody has to follow, because literally your neighbor will call, be like, hey, this person in mow their lawn, and this is affecting the property value of all of us. Right? You're like, oh, y'all got that.
Listen.
So I'm in it. So we go to the store and I'm just asking for certain things. I'm like, oh, dang, all this stuff cheap in Santa, right? So I'm like, oh, let me get this. Let me get these chips, all of that. And the guy was talking, my friend was laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? He said, because as he's getting the stuff, the lady in the back must have been his wife, was like, who is that? Who's that speaking English? He said, one of these Santon girls. So that's when I was there for about 3 days. So the second day, I went into, they had a shop that was right next door. So I got my hair done because it was cheaper. So I'm in there. So then I'm just talking, and the guy came in, brought us snacks, and he was like, I had to bring this because I had to apologize because yesterday I said that you was a Santa girl, and I realized that your friend was South African, so I know he told you.
Oh my gosh.
He felt guilty.
So there was like, he thought you. I was like, no, I'm really American. This is a real accent. But it was interesting. Yeah. So by the third day when I was leaving, because I was also walking with his little dog. Everybody know the dog. Okay. So now I can walk in the neighborhood by myself. I'm going to the store, and I'm just like, all right, I like this. But that's what I heard what Santon girl was.
So now we know. If you have an American accent, you could be a Santon person.
They might be saying that.
So might be Santon boy.
Well, you know what that means, right? Because you want to feel, and this is like international, so you put on a
little front to seem something other than you are. It's not a compliment.
Right. Right. No.
Not that pause, man. I was like, shoot. At first I thought it was until I realized I did hear Santon, but that's all I heard out of the whole thing. Yes. But that was it. So yeah.
That is funny. But I mean, yeah, it's a thing for sure. I think they're probably saying these things about me. I don't know what they're saying because I'm just at the grocery store.
But greet a little bit, especially when, have you tried to greet in the language?
Oh yes. But
then that's when it goes off.
And that's the part, because especially since I already look South African to many of them, it's like I say one thing and it's a whole dissertation that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I walk in, Johnny. Oh, Johnny says
You better than me. I keep it English.
Pause. What?
What you gotta say, Johnny?
I'll try. I'll say it to the kids, making sure they're building up their language.
I want to learn. I really do want to learn.
I do too. I'm open.
So I had started learning a little bit of the Zulu. Then
Okay.
my helper started teaching me Shauna a bit.
Okay.
So I'm just like, it's so many different languages.
That's the part.
So, and then you got the Afrikaans. I was like, oh, I don't know. That I can't, the vernacular.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a little
those hard C's and stuff. It's like in the click.
Yeah, well, that's even closer.
Correct. Right. And it's even another way of saying it. So like, I keep it in.
Yeah. Anyway, I will try. When people tell me like different words, we cool on that.
There it is.
But another cultural difference that people don't tell you about that you may experience, is specifically about healthcare and safety. What are some of those experiences that you're like, yo, I wish somebody told me this?
Nice. So we actually had our first run-in using our healthcare provider, being that our daughter had something going on with her mouth, and so Crystal took her to the dentist. So how was that? Was it?
So what I would say is it actually went really well. One thing that I would say was different, and I don't know if it's just specifically the provider, but I don't think it's the provider, because even when I checked on the doctor, they said the same thing. You pay and then you talk to your insurance to get them to like pay you back.
That's true. If you have American insurance, right?
No, it's here.
We have an international.
We had to get for them in school. We literally had to get a South African based insurance. Okay, and so they were like, "Oh no, you pay and then you file it with them, and then they'll pay you back." You know, in the States, they take all them deductions off up front.
Correct.
So it's like,
you already know what
I'm counting on y'all to make sure y'all give me my money back. Like, so that's definitely a difference. What I would say is the cost is so much less that it's like, if y'all give it back, fine. If you don't give it back, fine. Like,
nah, run me my rents.
That's it.
I want it all back.
It's like,
you have to get some tires.
Obviously, like, I would want it, but at the same time, I want to say even like going to the doctor for them, it's less than like $30. So it's like, do I want the $30? Yes. However, I don't even know. I haven't gotten to the other side of what all hoops and stuff you jump through to get your money back. And how, and do they give the full thing, or is it like in the States where no, you're paying part and they're paying part? So then are we talking about $15? Like, is it going to take me 5 hours to get $15? Like, so I don't know, but that was just a difference that
sorry, it's like 5 hours for $15. You can keep it. My rate is more than that.
And that is why I said the cost is so low. I might just be like, you can keep it.
Nah, y'all can take the $5. Just e-wallet me. I don't got time to stay for, but e-wallet me. I'll call back and check in 5 hours.
My time is worth My time is worth more than what this is. So again, I haven't gotten to that side of the process, so we'll see. The people that I do know that also live here that have kids that are sent to the doctor, they also just paid out of pocket. They're like, I still haven't figured out how the insurance works. So again, I don't know what that process is like, but it's definitely a difference to have to pay everything up front and then at some point in the future that hasn't been stated, you will get your money back.
Have you read your policy or to?
It's not an extensive policy. I mean, it basically just says.
And the customer service ain't. Sorry.
That's the part they don't tell you about. Right?
So it's a number that you gotta call, but it'd be like sometimes I'd be like, "Bruh."
It basically.
It is just no other word but "bruh."
Look, it's basically a paper that just says name, insurance company, date.
But there's no like insurance person that told you, "Hey, this is how you do it."
No.
We just went for it.
No, our
It's the way I said no.
Our attorney that we
about
worked
to go
with,
into it.
Yeah, our attorney that we worked with was like, "Hey, this is an option for insurance that you can use. That's going to work." Because we had looked into another one, but she was like, "That won't work." So she was like, "This one will work for them to be able to be in school, because we had to have it for them to be in school."
Yeah,
and so yeah, we were just like, okay, we'll use them. She was like, go online here. He went online, he did this stuff, and so we have insurance.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll have to do part 2. We'll see how that works on the other side.
But that was definitely a cultural difference because in the States you wouldn't be expecting to pay everything up front and then they give you your money back.
You pay everything in the back, and that's why people were like, "Oh, here go the medical bill."
Right.
In some cases.
But a good thing about it is, again, the prices are so much lower for even the dental procedure that we went to do for my daughter today. In the States, it was literally like $700. I went to the dentist with her and it was $50. So I'm like,
and it's a nice dentist, right?
There's a moment of silence because we know how that hits.
That's it. You may think the quality is lower and all those things. No.
Very nice.
No.
So nice. She loved it. She's like, oh my God, the dentist is so nice. Like, and he gave her a toy after. It was very clean. They let me go back with her the whole time. They did x-rays. They had all the same equipment and everything. So, I mean, I was just like, I feel like I'm getting such a deal because that was how much I paid with insurance was $750. Like, so for you to be like $50, I was like, man, you do this. I'll worry about the rest of this later. You can have this $50. Like,
no, I get
so it's such a difference, but it's an adjustment because then I went to the pharmacy after to get a prescription. That's a different situation because it's less expensive, but I'm also not used to like having to talk to somebody just to get like, I guess we would say like Tylenol, but like maybe ibuprofen or something. Normally you could just go and grab all that stuff off the shelf. Nah, you got to see that person. They're going to put it in that box. They're going to put that lock on it and you're going to take it to the counter.
Yeah, most people don't know about the lock in the box.
I don't even know. I'm learning so much.
Oh, because you gotta take it to the register, but because it's medicine, from your point, from them to the register, what could you do with that?
I don't know.
In your bag? I mean, some people may take it and not pay for it, but pay for some chips.
Okay.
So they'll see you with that little thing. Where you going?
Yes. It's a little box, and it's like a little cage. I would say it's like a little cage. And you have to go to them, whether it's a prescription medication or non-prescription, you have to go to see the people.
To the pharmacy.
Let's go to the pharmacy. To the pharmacist.
And people be like, who the people?
Right. Where y'all going?
You go to the
professional people with the white coats.
You go to the pharmacist and they put the medicine inside the cage and then they put a lock on it and then you go. And then also what's different is, again, with over-the-counter, there's no over-the-counter medication because you got to go see the pharmacist. Okay. But you would choose, I want Tylenol, I want Vicks, I want whatever. Here, you tell the pharmacist what the ailment is, and they just decide what they're going to give you for it. So
that's true.
So I said,
and if it was something that I had before, I'm like, but do you have this brand? They're like, oh yeah. So why are you giving me that brand?
Yes. Right. So they're willing to switch it. They are willing to switch, but it's not like laid out where you can just, I want this or this or this or this. Hey, my child has a stomach ache, and they're like, hold on, how old are they? And they go and they just come back and you just take what they give you. So that is definitely an adjustment. It does.
It does work.
That's why we all don't complain.
I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at it.
You don't know.
But you're not going to just be picking and choosing your own medicine. You're going to get what they give you.
But it will work.
But
unless you say, hey, I'm allergic to certain things.
Yes.
Maybe.
They will. And I will say they do seem that's a difference. They seem very knowledgeable. I don't know if the people in the States aren't always as knowledgeable or they just don't want to be as helpful. But they do seem very knowledgeable. When you do go to the pharmacy, they make sure they ask the right questions. How old are they? Do they have any allergies? Anything like that. And then, like I said, they go to the back and they come back and they put it in the cage. And that's what it is.
That's what it is.
But that's the difference. I was like, we first got here and I was like, where's the allergy medicine? Where's and I just couldn't see it. And I realized I had to go to the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Even though it's not.
And you can see it too. In the advertised box that ain't from you. Like, hold about?
Uh-huh.
It got kids on it. Why is it not on the show?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So yeah, but one of the things that you were talking about, like just kind of just healthcare in regards to like the dentist, one of the things that just sparked in my mind is, have y'all seen where the ambulance, you have to pay them up front? A lot of people are. So when the ambulance, so this is what they don't tell you, and it's my friend just had a trip here, but it was someone else that that told me this, but like one of her guests that got sick, but you have to pay the ambulance up front before they take you. They ask you, who's paying this?
Before they take you to get help.
Yes.
Huh.
Because listen, they're not gonna pay about their money, apparently.
For me, that's inconsiderate. But we're also in a different place.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm sick. You came to pick me up for a reason.
It's an emergency.
Yeah, and it's just like I could be dying. You're like, who paid for this?
Thinking like who people literally could die in those minutes, right? If you're trying to figure it out. I'm at a friend's house. I'm like, I don't know if she got it. I mean,
that's like an extra service, because that's what I was like. I was trying to figure out who else told me. My other friend, she had fell in the mall.
Okay.
And literally, they asked, "Who paid for this?"
So the mall didn't cover it.
Well, no, she was right. I mean, it was the emergency with the ambulance, the emergency vehicle, because it's called emergency vehicle.
Okay.
Was literally, I think the hospital was like maybe 2 blocks away.
Okay.
But they still want to know who paying for this.
Huh. Well, I'm glad I know now.
Call an Uber or I don't know.
So that's a private service.
Interesting. They said we don't learn from the States. We know a lot of them are not paying them bills.
No, it didn't matter who you are. It's not just us. It's a policy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But they learn. They see how people not paying. In other countries, like,
that's not gonna happen.
Make sure you ask them up front who's paying for that.
So, is there anything else that you wish somebody told you that they didn't tell you?
I would say that things don't move as fast as you want them to, or that you're accustomed to. Whether you're eating out, right, and you're expecting the server to be there and kind of over your shoulder, you kind of get used to that. However, here it's more relaxed, right? They have a saying here that I've heard you say quite a bit, no stress. And every time I hear it, it just raises a little bit of stress.
He don't like it.
You didn't say, oh, you picked up. I was like, I thought they said that everywhere.
No, I heard it here. I guess it just amplified here because it's usually said around the time where I'm like, hey, like, can I get this done right now? No stress. It'll take place. Okay. So things just don't happen as fast. But, some on one hand, it's like maybe it's a culture thing. Maybe I just do need to slow down. Maybe I'm used to the hustle and bustle and, things happening yesterday. And coming here, things that just happen when it happens, but it happen when it needs to happen. So that's one of the things that I just want to make sure people know. When you come, if you ever been to the Bahamas or Jamaica, like have that mindset. It's just easy breezy. It'll take place when it needs to and not a New York mindset.
Because I definitely have it. I'm just like, bruh, what's taking so, and that's my word, bruh. What's taking so long? Or I asked for this. You didn't say it came with all of it. Even the menu didn't say it came with all of this.
Yeah.
So like that is just like, all right, I asked for a salad. You didn't say the dressing was mayonnaise. Why is it mayonnaise on the salad? Like you never had a salad with mayonnaise?
We haven't had.
Why would you have that on the salad?
Why would I do? You don't do mayonnaise.
Right.
I thought that was.
Girl. I was like, bruh. That's the bruh moments when I'd be like, I don't understand.
Right.
Like my mind cannot comprehend why does mayonnaise go with everything.
It shouldn't.
So that's what they don't tell you. Mayonnaise go with a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's the level of service can be good, but it also can be slow depending on where you are. The food could be good, and it's just like you understand that your waiter or waitress is not the person cooking it, but did y'all go fetch it? Like
literally,
y'all was out
pluck
there
the chicken,
animals.
Correct. This is the
training
freshest.
them.
That's what
all the things.
It feels like it. You went and picked the potato.
We say that at home, and when it takes so long, like, oh, so did you go and like go and get the daggone rabbit? I don't even eat rabbit, but just like
right, you had to chase it.
Right,
it was a fast hopper, like all of that. That took what took so long. No, it feels like that, but that's that's something that I definitely look forward for people when they visit, experiencing and just watching their their response, because like that's gonna be entertaining.
I know for me, another thing that I didn't expect they don't tell you is how many things are not here. So I know we talk a lot about South Africa has everything, and they do. For everything that you would actually need, they definitely have it. They have all the basics. However, there are several things they don't have. Like, or if they have it, you go to grab it and it's not what you think it is. So when we went shopping and we're looking, we're like, "Ooh, Doritos!" That blue bag is not Cool Ranch.
It's not
Oh,
Cool
it's
Ranch.
not.
No,
it's not that bad though.
It's not sweet chili. Sweet chili be hitting though, but it's not.
But it's not
Cool Ranch.
And they don't have a red bag.
They don't have
the
red
orange
bag.
bag.
They got the orange Supreme cheese.
It's Supreme cheese. It's not nacho cheese.
It's not nacho cheese.
They don't have regular Cheetos. They got flaming hot Cheetos.
Hello.
I don't know why.
And
they only wanted the flaming hot and not the regular. But that's what that is.
Did you taste it?
I don't do flaming hot.
I didn't. And so that's even the other thing, because then when you do see something that you're like, "Oh, Sprite," and then you go to drink it and you're like, "But this is different Sprite."
Yeah.
What about the Fritos?
I haven't tried the Fritos.
I was like, hold on, what's this? It was tomato sauce on the taste it.
Listen, and that's the thing.
It's not that bad. It's different.
It's different, but it's not different. What we're used to. We see a bag and
there's no plain ones.
And that's the thing, because it's a lot of it don't come in plain. Can I get the regular, please? Where's the original flavor of it? Oh, y'all original. It's different than our original. So I would say there's a lot of things that they either don't have, like Tony's, Laurie's, well,
we expect that part,
which is fine. But then when you find the thing that's like similar to their thing, I don't know why they feel the need to put turmeric, coriander, and cinnamon in every spice mix. Like, if it's a spice blend, it's gonna have cinnamon, turmeric, coriander, baby. Coriander do not belong in everything.
And I ain't even cook.
It barely belong in the stuff it's in. Like, but if you get any like seasoning blend, they gonna put them. That's the trifecta of seasonings. So I would say that was something that I did not expect. Was like the seasoning situation. Like, we say they have everything, but it's a lot of things that they have that are not like the things that we have. And I was like, well, where are just loose spices? Can I just get some regular nutmeg? Like, and so it can be hard.
Or seasoning salt.
But if you get seasoning salt, I promise you, baby, it's gonna have that turmeric, that coriander, and that cinnamon. Well, are we baking a pie or are we baking chicken? What are we doing? Like, so that's something that I feel like, just as a person that cooks here at the house, I've literally been trying to overcome or navigate finding spices that are just either loose spices where it's just the one thing, because they also love to do blends, but then finding a blend that don't have dessert like flavors mixed with savory flavors. Like, so the palate, I would say a big cultural difference is the palate, the taste palette that they go with. They love peri peri, like that's their thing. Like, you can find it everywhere.
But every peri peri is not the same either.
It's not. They got all the different peri peris, but they got that. Like, I don't like the peri peri at all. I'm not anti peri peri. I'm just like, why do we have to have it on everything?
I got you.
It's like,
have you tasted dunked wings from KFC?
No,
I haven't, but I want to.
Are they good?
They are, but it's different dunked.
Okay,
it's not I dunked, but it's different. Now, the reason why I say this is that it's not our dunk, because it does have different barbecue sauce on it. It's definitely different than what we expect.
Listen, the KFC period baseline, they got a different 11 seasonings and spices.
I love KFC here. I love it here. I love it here. It's better in the States.
Yeah, because I was like, why they like KFC? We need
I never
Popeyes
eat
or
KFC
something
in the
like
In the
that.
States, we ain't deal with it.
I didn't
but
eat KFC at home either.
at all.
But
here,
I will say that the only other place I had where the dunk wings was different was when I studied in Costa Rica.
Okay.
So each place has its different sauce.
that is true.
Oh.
That is true.
So
Which,
it's
I mean,
not
you know,
just
that's-
South Africa. We're not just putting it on them.
Right.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
each
Right.
place has its different sauce, but I was just like, oh, it looked so. This one actually looked so much like it compared to the other one. I was like, oh, maybe
Maybe
it's
it's the same.
It wasn't.
No.
Okay.
And so
You
another.
can taste the honey.
Okay.
In the
The KFC is good here. Though.
I love
I
KFC.
ride with the KFC, but I haven't tried the dunk yet. So we'll have to try the dunk from the KFC.
There it is.
and put it on your TikTok.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, y'all, dunk wings. What they do?
Not the dunk wing.
I got a wing, and I'm like,
Another thing they don't tell you about that you will find out here is that they don't put outlets in the bathrooms. And so Crystal has been having the hardest time doing her hair in the bathroom. However, there is a way. We bought an extension cord.
the longest extension cord known to mankind.
Everybody said buy an extension cord and this, that, and the third. So we did do that. Now she's able to do it in the bathroom. However, before there's just no plugs. And so you just
They're not in the bathroom, and also there's a lack of plugs, period.
That
In
is
the
true, too.
States, you
It's
walk
like
in the house, it's
one
like
on the
10
wall.
plugs on one wall. Like, it's
Yeah.
tons of plugs. But here,
no,
the
you
plugs
get one a
are
room.
far and in between. It's like,
One or
plug
two.
it in for what?
There was only one place, actually the place that had the plug in the bathroom. That was it. But
What was it? A hotel? Or
no, it
apartment?
was my apartment.
Oh wow.
And
They said
it was
can't
only
happen.
in the master bedroom.
Oh.
So the other guest bedroom that I had, that bathroom didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, that is very strange.
It is.
And it's just like, and then it was just like, you can't do something with that much electricity for that one. So if I wanted to flat iron my hair, I had to use the plug that was near my
So where's
What?
where's
Right.
this plug?
for the guy who wants to shave and stuff like that, or like those little miniature. And I said, that is crazy.
That is.
That's wild.
Yeah, but then they like anti plugs in the bathrooms because of the
Yeah.
water and the condensation, and But that's something you don't know about until you get here.
Right.
But now you know.
And I would say with the plugs, they don't tell you this, but you're still gonna probably end up needing an adapter. So I was like, oh, let me not bring all my hair flat irons and different things because the plugs are gonna be different.
Mhm.
I'll get it here. I came here, I bought a flat iron, and I still needed to buy an adapter.
So you should have just bought yours.
I could have just brought what I had. Like,
I brought my chi iron.
listen.
I could.
So that was something that I didn't know, they didn't tell you. So I would say, I guess here some of the, not all, but some of the products are still imported. So you would still need to get an adapter, even if you buy it here, because I was so lost. I was telling the building people, nah, these plugs, something wrong with them. This joint don't work. And they were like, oh, you need an adapter. I said, but I bought this here.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously in the States, you're buying something, I'm going to say 99.99% of the time, the plug is going to be for the States. Here, you still might end up needing an adapter, even though you bought it here.
No.
So that was something they didn't say, and I wasn't prepared for, and I was a little upset about, because I was like, I could have just kept my stuff. I didn't know. Nobody told me.
No, I understand because
Yeah.
I brought a few things, and then some things that I bought here, I was just like, oh, I'm glad I got, because I couldn't leave the chi iron. I think I had just bought it, and I was like, nah, we're going to bring that.
Figure it out.
Because flat irons can be different. And if you know the chi iron, you know the chi iron.
That chi is.
It'll straighten. I know have you heard about the chi? Okay, so literally all you just need is one, and it's straight. With other irons, you gotta do it several times.
Right.
Okay. So it's quality.
It's very ceramic.
If I had a chi, I definitely would have said, we're gonna figure it out, I'm gonna bring it, but
and it got warranty on the chi.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
Yeah.
But so all in all, what would be, I would say, to end this, be the number one shocking thing that just sits in your heart and you were like, guys, you should have just said, you can do this or you can't do this. I'll start. For me, just to give you an example.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned let's talk about safety, but for me it was that I can't walk the streets like I do at home.
Okay.
You should have told me, like, girl, don't walk with your cell phone out, or you can't, because we walk to the store and things like that. You can't do that unless it's a patrolled area. You got to be very careful. I wish someone told me that. They didn't tell me that. I know there is crime everywhere, but it's like that's what they don't tell you about South Africa. They go all around like, girl, come visit. You can do this. South Africa has that. It's just like the States. Not that part, because you try and order Uber, whoop, your joint is gone.
Okay.
You can't sit your phone on the table or it's gone. So those are the things I was just like, dang. Because you know how we are with our phones.
Yes.
We're like everywhere. And you think you just having a conversation with your husband and your phone is basically now somebody else's. And they get to a point where you tell him that he probably hears it and try to track it. It is done in 60 seconds. They didn't turn all your stuff off and gone and already removed it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Our phones, they say, I think it's equivalent to like someone's salary for a year. I think maybe 30, 40,000.
Oh, wow.
Like depending on what kind of phone you have and all that. I'm not saying that's how much my phone costs.
Right. Now I'm about to say, I'm going to start selling phones. Wait a minute.
I'm saying that they're like, oh, you're YouTube, let me snatch your phone.
Okay, right. No, I got an old one. We got old ones.
We got old ones too, yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Yeah. I felt like that was something I should have known. And you watch all these YouTubes. I'm pretty sure y'all watch YouTubes. No one said that. Of course.
No, not at all. Not just open and freely. No.
So I would say for me, I love to shop. And I did not know. And I would say in the States, a lot of places, it's very easy to return stuff. Like, buy now, decide later. Like, it's a thing. Like, some stores even say a sign, buy now, decide later. Here, you buy it because you plan to keep it forever. Like, even though they have a return policy, there's been a couple of times where I just needed to exchange something for a different size or whatever. They act like they don't know how to send the money back to your bank. They don't have the proper card machines to put the money back. I literally stood in stores for 45 minutes for them trying to figure out how to send the money back for something I bought a few days before. Not even waiting a long time. I have my receipt, all my stuff. But they're, I don't know how to do a return. Does anybody know how to do a return? And they're calling people and they got to call the other manager and then they got to come and call corporate, and it's a whole thing. Or even if you just have multiple items at the register and they scanning the stuff, you're like, you know what? Actually, I don't want those socks. They have to call, you haven't paid yet or anything. They have to call the whole manager to come over, take the line item off. It's a whole thing. And so I would say for me, and I would say a lot of people in America are consumer type people. We out buying stuff.
You see, I'm quiet, I'm listening, but I experienced the same thing. I was just like, you can't return it at the store. You gotta go to the major store. Isn't it the same store?
One time they sold.
We don't have enough money.
I'm not even asking for cash. Put it back on my card.
Well, we can't because you did. I remember I tapped.
Yes. And that's the thing. Even you're tapping. They left the store one time. They sold me the wrong size shoe, and they were like, "Oh, I came back and literally within an hour, I was like, hey, I noticed this is the wrong size. Oh, we gotta send the manager. The manager had to go to one of the other stores across the hall, get them to print out a receipt, then come back, then call another manager to put the stuff in. I was there for another 45 minutes. One, because they gave me the wrong size shoe, but then again, because they are so not used to dealing with and facilitating returns. So I would say, especially coming from, again, a society where we'll buy stuff. Oh, if you don't like it, just take it back. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can, if you're getting a gift for somebody, take them with you. Because if they trying to return this, they are going to struggle. Because if you try to return it and you bought it, it's going to be a struggle. So I would say that's a big thing that nobody told me. That's a giant cultural shift. Again, as to how we do things in the States. Oh, you know what? I don't want this no more. I take it back within 3 minutes. I got my money back and I'm out the store doing whatever it is I'm doing.
And it's easy.
It's very easy. Oh, just re-tap your card. Your money's back on. You don't even have to take out your card sometimes. They can do it so easily. Here, set aside 45 minutes to an hour if you need to return anything. because they genuinely are not. I guess it's technologically, but they're very technologically advanced.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's confusing.
But it's very confusing to them, and it's a shock to process. When you say you want to return something, it's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, and so I got a couple things. One is like, I don't know what's a good tip here, right? Because coming from the States, I'm used to like 20%, right? However, when I give it here, they look like, whoa, like, and I'm like, I don't know. So
10%.
Okay, boom. Now I know 10% is a good thing, or like
it's a good thing.
The standard.
Okay, standard is 10.
Because remember, ours used to be 10.
Gotcha.
So now ours went from
10
to 20. No, like literally depending on what restaurant. So it's like, okay, you got 10, 15, 20. So basically based on your service. Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 18%? Or is it 20?
Right.
Depending on the service you gave me.
Some of them got 22 now.
So 10% is okay, good. All right, so now I know. Thank you. The other thing is, during the eating experience, I'm accustomed to asking the server, what do you recommend? However, every time what do you recommend is said, they ask me, what do you want? What you mean what I want? I'm asking you. I want your recommendation. This is your restaurant. You work here. You see people eat here all the time. I'm new here. I don't know. What do you recommend? And so it's always a runaround. I've only one time in all the restaurants we've gone to, which we eat out quite a bit, more than I may want to. But nonetheless, only one person gave me a recommendation after I said what I wanted. And he said, oh, no, that's going to be bad. Do this one instead. But outside of that, nobody. So that's something that you need to know. Like when you go to a restaurant, know what you want to eat, have an idea of the category of meat you may want to partake in and things like that, because they will not get what I haven't come across a waiter that will give you their suggestion, which I don't know why. Like,
where they say all is good, all of it.
Correct.
All is good.
Which that's not true.
Like,
or it depends on what you like.
Correct.
But you also know why, right? Because if you return, you can't really return too much.
Too much food. They don't really do that.
It'll come, I think, like how
out of their check. Okay.
So they might have to be on you.
I've seen somebody return something, I could tell that person was hurt. Like,
but because remember, it's like if they recommend, no, you picked that yourself. I just
Gotcha. Right.
But I also feel like that I understand, but I also just kind of do a disservice to us as consumers or
very much so. No, I don't like that. But so know that that's not going to be available. There's even times where I will go to a restaurant and say, surprise me. But I wouldn't dare do that.
Yeah, don't do that no more.
No, definitely don't do that here. I thought of one more thing that is a major thing.
Okay.
So they talk a lot about the power. You know, the power outages that can occur.
It just went out.
Yeah, we had that. We had that experience. Y'all didn't know, but that's what took place.
Everybody sort of like, what was that?
You didn't blink long. You didn't blink long.
The power. What they don't talk about is the water. So some areas they get water outages.
Yeah, just cut it off.
So
even nicer.
Thankfully, we moved to a place where they have backup water, but they do not talk about that. Some areas they turn the power off. They turn the water off as well. So I think the power is such a big thing. Nobody talks about the water, but we've had friends that live in different areas where they're like, yeah, we haven't had water for a day
water
or two.
Outages.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't experienced that, but I heard about that, and I never talked about that. But you also, and I think that's because some of the water may come from the city, but I have borehole water. So
right, we do too.
Yeah, we have backup water. So certain communities or neighborhoods will make sure that the homes or the apartment that is where it's built, they will build in the backup water, so that if the city or whatever cuts off the water, you still will continuously have water. It's not a problem. Some neighborhoods, some areas, even if it's a nice area of town, they turn off the water and you don't have water. And so people talk a lot about the power, but they don't talk about the water. And I would say anybody that's planning to visit here, move here, anything like that, make sure before you sign the dotted line for that lease, they got backup water. Because again,
not the dotted line.
Listen, dot straight, whatever you got. Like, they do not talk about it. Like, I didn't even know it was really a thing. So I would say that's a major thing that a lot of people don't talk about at all. Is some areas they be turning off the water.
Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for
Yes.
doing this whole session with me.
Yeah.
I didn't think that people would be interested to talk about what they don't tell you, right?
Mm.
But I felt like it was necessary.
Yeah.
So thank you for participating in this
Absolutely.
conversation. This is episode 2 of What They Don't Tell You. And I feel like it's important because you come here and then you experience those things, and we may talk about it with one another,
Mhm.
but you come to our channels to hear about some of these things, not just all the good, but the good, the bad, and the mundane, the life, everyday life in between.
Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you guys? What is it, something that you guys do that you want people to kind of touch base with you on?
Yeah.
I think it's your production company.
Yeah,
So
we have that. Absolutely. So on YouTube, we are the Jones Family Channel. You can definitely find us there. We post quite often. And Crystal has her TikTok. What's the name of that?
Yes, TikTok is hey_Mrs. So MRS Jones.
And then in 2024, we do have some things coming up, but we still in the cooking process. So we'll probably have to tap back in.
Nah, he need to tell us. He can't get off like that.
Listen, you know the Joneses need to know we always got something in the pot.
Always, because we're purposeful in all that we do. So we'll bring it back. We'll bring it to the channel first. How about that?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
You heard it here first, right? They gonna do it.
There it is. We're gonna keep that word for sure.
All right, guys. We appreciate having them here today. If you are new, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, this is the Purposeful Journey. So we don't judge, and we ask you not to judge us, but just come along because we are on for a great ride.
Nice.
Until next time, it's your girl, J. Scott. I'm out.
I wouldn't.
And this is my journey from passion to purpose.